What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another War Thunder video. We're back on the dev server for another update. I can't believe we got another dev server, but here we are. Gaijin's got another patch coming out approximately a week before Christmas, so get ready, start grinding. We're gonna start off with Germany. We're gonna go over very quickly a lot of the new vehicles that are coming into the new patch, starting with the F-84F. This definitely looks unique because it doesn't have the straight wings that we're used to seeing with the F-84s. It's got the swept wing design, similar to what we have on the Sabres. As far as modifications go, you get the standard, what I would describe as the standard F-84 loadout, which is a bunch of bomb and rocket options. Nothing dramatic, but you do get multiple drops for the 1,000 pounders. I think on the F-84, you're only allotted 2 1,000 pounders, so this is definitely a little bit of an upgrade, along with 2,000 pounders. So it's a little bit of an upgrade. I like that, and it's sitting at battle rating 8.7. So it's going to be a more powerful aircraft. As far as researching it, it comes right after the ME262 in your tech tree. So if you want to get the F-84F, finish up your 262 research so that you can get this right away. Next up, we have a new anti-air vehicle at battle rating 3.3. It's got 3 15mm machine guns in the top. The turret rotates pretty quickly, I would say. Good speed. Fire rate's really good. And we got him somehow. My aim is terrible. That fire rate, though, that is insane. You could test this. That is a lot of lead. That is a lot of lead. Oh my gosh. And that's at battle rating 3.3. Let me take a look at the belts really quick. So your stock belt comes with 37mm of penetration. As you get up, that has more high explosive. This is 8 armor piercing, so this one is basically APIT with an HVAP shell at the start with 50mm of penetration. So that's going to do some work at battle rating 3.3. And for purposes of research, let's take a look at where this is. It's right after the SD KFC 6.2. Let's go over to America. We're going to start off with the Mariner. This is a battle rating 2.0 bomber. This is the second Mariner that we have in the PBM Mariner. We have a PBM 3 that's in the tech tree. It's a premium event vehicle, I believe, from like 3 years ago. This is interesting. Love the seaplanes. This is a part of the early days of War Thunder. We don't get too many seaplanes anymore. Let's take a look at the bomb options. 4 1,000 pounders, 12 100 pounders. Okay, that's not too crazy. It's actually remarkably good for a battle rating 2.0. What does it have for turrets? It's got 5 50 cals. Holy cow. They're just everywhere too. That looks fun. That looks like a fun plane to try. Anyway, let's take a look at the next one. The F-84F. Of course, America's getting their own F-84. By the way, all of the F-84Fs that we were going to show, they only have the one skin on each plane, so they don't have any upgrades just yet. And modifications go, the same bomb and rocket options. 650 cals, pretty standard, as what we had with Germany. The F-84F, by the way, comes in after the F-3D1, by the way, not after the F-84. That would be too logical. Next up, we have the A-7D, which comes in after the FJ4B, a battery 9.7. This is going to be one of the most popular planes of this new patch, not only in tank RB, but I think it's going to also be useful in ARB because of the missiles that you see here on either side of the fuselage. These aren't AIM-9Es, these are Js. These have very good mobility. Look at all these options. You get E's and J's as options for whichever rocket and bomb combination that you like. It is just absolutely nuts. You can have some cannons on your plane. You just go just with the rockets, or the missiles, I mean. 114 Mighty Mice. I mean, holy smokes. Let's take this loadout that I have on the 2 AIM-9Js and the 12 1,000 pounders into a test flight. Let's see this thing in action. I suspect this thing's going to be a little heavy. But that is a lot of bombs. It doesn't get a cockpit, unfortunately. That's probably something they're still working on. It is after all the dev server, everything is subject to change. Those of you who've been around War Thunder know that. And it does get a ballistic computer. Nice. Not that you're going to need it for the air-to-airs, but it's going to be useful for the ground pounding bombers. We almost didn't make it off that runway. Yeah, she is. Yeah, she's heavy.
You're breaking up. Say again. Reception 4, over.
Kind of feels like a bus right now.
Approaching target.
Alright, let's use our ballistic computer. Let's see if we can bomb this tank in the back. Might get your nose up. Easy. Of course, how realistic is this going to be in the tank RB match? Probably not very realistic because of the fact that you're going to be up against Gepards and Shulkas and all kinds of fun vehicles, not to mention aircraft. Pull up, oh, we're going down. But we got the SPA. That thing is so heavy. I wonder if it does it. I don't think it gets bullpups, does it? No, it does not get bullpups. At least not yet. Just have bombs and rockets. Does get flares. It's gun pods. You can have 30mm gun pods. Holy smokes. The options are whatever you feel like using. That's pretty impressive. With Russia, nothing. This is all old stuff. Next up for Great Britain, we find ourselves with the Hornet Mark I. The Mark III has been in the game for a while, but this is the Mark I. It's a premium variant. 420mm Hispanos, battery 5.7. Comes with a price tag of 7,480 Golden Eagles. It's a pretty good Silver Lion boost. You'll notice that the RP gain there is a little bit high. That's because I have a booster activated at the moment, so don't get too excited. The Hornet, it doesn't get any sort of bombs and rockets that are going to be particularly useful, in my opinion. They're all pretty basic. This plane is, at least in my opinion, an ARB match type of aircraft. You get Typically with the Hornets, you get an air spawn, and there you can wreak havoc against the Germans. Next up, we have the Buccaneer S2, battle rating 9.3. It does not come with bullpups right out of the gate, by the way. I added those. Here are the modifications. The bullpups are a tier 4 modification upgrade. You do get flares, AIM-9Bs, and much like the A7, you get a wide array of options. You can customize your loadout however you want. It's just about. This one is going to be a popular one. You get 4 bullpups with 4 1,000 pounders. That's going to be popular, I would imagine. And I may actually eventually go to that. But when I get the Buccaneer, I'm going to be running just the bullpups without the bombs. Because the bombs are going to add weight. And I'd rather be a little bit lighter, be a little bit more maneuverable. Because I know at this battle rating, at 9.3, I'm going to be encountering a lot of G91s. And I'd like to be able to avoid some of their attacks. The Buccaneer doesn't look like a particularly maneuverable aircraft. So if you strap a bunch of bombs on there too, I think it's just going to hinder its performance. But I could be wrong. The Buccaneer is located after the Canberras, so it's in the bomber lineup, again at battle rating 9.3. For Japan, we had a STA-3. I've been really looking forward to this one. It's because it's a tactical vehicle. I thought that the STA-3 would eventually come, but I figured it would be either a premium or an event vehicle, because I think it's a prototype. It has an autoloader of 6 seconds, which is pretty amazing. It's not going to be the stealthiest vehicle because of the fact that the machine gun here on top sticks out so high. I mean, you'd be pretty blind not to see this thing coming at you. You are not going to hide very well in this thing. As far as modifications goes, it's not that different from the other STAs. You get the 90mm gun with armor piercing. APCBC as a tier 1 modification. HEATFS is a tier 2 modification. HE stock and smoke shell is a tier 4 modification. But you don't get any sort of thermals or anything special like that. It's a nice plane, or excuse me, a nice tank, excuse me, at battle rating 6.7, and it follows the Type 61. Next up, we find ourselves over in China, where we have the ZTZ-99. This is their new top main battle tank at battle rating 10.0. I'm not going to spend too much time on this vehicle because I don't think that it's completely modeled correctly. The armor, it looks a little bit too strong from what I've looked at, and if we take a look at the test drive, its scope is kind of messed up too. And it's just dev server stuff. You can see the gun is aimed up way too high. You see it's not in alignment. So it's just things are not ready yet. But the game looks awesome with this new graphics update. It's a very fast vehicle, I will say that. But after looking at the model for the armor, I don't think it's quite right. It looks like it's a little over armored for what it should be. Modification wise, you get your top shell is the APF-SDS shell with 466mm of pen. There's no night vision, like not even night vision. Forget thermals. No NVD at all. That's at 10.0. Are you serious? Oh, I don't know about this one. Let me take a look at the 96A. I don't remember what this has. Okay, so this does get thermals and ESS. So the 99 is you get ESS but no thermals. So I don't know if it's missing or if it's, I don't know. But it's not ready. That's for sure. The armor, there's no way that the armor is correct. Next up we have the V11. This is a very low tier, battle rating 1.3 attacker. Get 4 Browning 7.62 millimeter machine guns. Get a couple of, you only get 2 bomb options. You can either carry 1 500 pounder or 2 250 pounders. It's pretty standard for a low tier attacker, and it's located right here below the HS-123. Lastly, for China, they get a new anti-air gun at battle rating 2.3. It kind of reminds me of the M16 or the M15, very similar in the idea. Battle rating 2.3, and it is located right here. It's not under anything, so you should be able to get to this one pretty quickly. Next up, we have Italy, which gets its own F-84F. Same modifications as the other nations that I've shown. Battle rating 8.7 again, and it is located below the F-84G, of course. Finally, some logic. Italy gets their own line of helicopters in this patch. They get the AB205A1. This is basically a Huey. At battle rate 8.0, you don't get much for weaponry options. You can either choose from 2 7mm machine guns or 14 SNEB rockets. And the rockets they're okay. they're okay. I'm not saying they're going to be anything special though. The Huey is a pretty common low-tier helicopter. You can grind through the research on that plane or that helicopter pretty quickly. Next up, we have the second new helicopter, and that is the A109 EO A2. Just rolls right off the tongue, doesn't it? Battle rating 9.3. It does get tow missiles as an upgrade, but most of its loadout consists of Mighty Mice rockets. You can put some gun pods on, but I think the one that I would go with is just the tows. I don't know if the Mighty Mice rockets are really going to be that useful. There's no anti-air options. There's no air-to-air. That's what I mean. I don't know. It's nothing too special to me. You do get thermals as an upgrade, but I'm not overly impressed with it. Nor am I impressed with the 9.7 option either. You do get Hellfires with this one, as well as flares, thermals, so Stinger missiles. So it does have some upgrades, but it's nothing. Man, that's gonna need 3 monitors just to look through all these. It's got Mistrals, Hellfires. There's just so many options. It's kind of overwhelming, to be honest with you. My God. I still think the one that I would go with is just the Hellfires with maybe the 2 MGs. So I wasn't able to find, when I was looking through this earlier, I wasn't able to find one with 8 Hellfires and like a bunch of Mistrals or Stingers. It's like you're limited with the Hellfires. 2 Hellfires. Just, it's tough to find that one loadout that is just ideal, you know? You always have to compromise. It's an interesting vehicle, but I still think that if you have the A129, I still think you got a pretty good deal. Next up, we make our way over to France, where you have ourselves 2 new F-84Fs. Not just one, but 2. The first one is a Tech Tree variant at 8.7 that follows the F-84G. Basically the same vehicle as all the other ones. And then we have a premium F-84F. This is the Israeli version, which is basically a reskin of everything else that we've seen. And that's an expensive skin, I'll give you that. It's 8,560 Golden Eagles. And no, you don't get anything truly unique as far as bomb and rocket options. It's just the same old thing. That being said, it does get a decent Silverline modifier at 2.4. That's not too bad. I still think that it should be higher. To be honest with you, at 8.7, I think the modifier should be higher, but that's just me. Next up, we find our way over to Sweden, where we have possibly two of the most overpowered vehicles in the game, the Saab 105s. This is the G, this is the Premium E. This, I believe, is an Austrian export. Let's take a look at the 105G first. This is a Tech 3 variant, and it follows the SK60B, a battle rating 8.0. What makes this overpowered, or potentially overpowered, is the fact that it has a battle rating of 8.0, and its upgrade includes an AIM-9J. That's basically what the RB24J is, an AIM-9J. You get two of them, but here's the question. As powerful as the AIM-9J is it the best way to go if you're in an ARB match, for example? Because let's say you do fire off your two rockets, or your two missiles, excuse me. Then what do? You don't have any guns. You need the gun pods in order to have guns, because it doesn't come with guns by default. I think you're incredibly vulnerable as soon as you get rid of your two AIM-9Js. That being said, this thing is going to be spammed out like crazy. Or rather, the premium one will, because this is the same thing. For all intents and purposes, you get AIM-9Js. It doesn't have quite as many options here in the weapons system, but you get the AIM-9Js. Spend 8,500 in golden eagles. Get yourself an 8.0 premium. Grind your way through Sweden's Tech 3. 2 kills in a match. Every match, I would imagine, it's going to be 2 kills. Or at least a crit. Maybe someone will steal it. Yeah, this thing is going to be powerful. You can't really put it any higher than 8.0, I feel, because the plane itself, it's only so good. Alright. The MiG there. The MiG here. We can take him out, I would imagine. So how do you balance this thing? If it's too good for 8.0, what do you do with it? I don't know. I don't envy Gaijin. The AIM-9Js are really good. It would make sense to put it at a higher battle rating. But at the same time, the plane by itself, without the AIM-9Js, isn't that remarkable. Got him. So I don't envy Gaijin. That's for darn sure. This plane is going to be spammed out like crazy. It's going to be much like the Harrier. Although probably not quite as much, because Sweden as a nation just isn't as popular as Great Britain is. And with only 2 rockets, or excuse me, only 2 missiles, you're likely only going to get 2 kills per match. Whereas the British Harrier, you can get, what, 4? This comes with 4 of the SRAMs, yeah. So that's definitely going to be the most spammed vehicle in the game. But at least you don't have to face each other. That would be something. So yeah, that is all of the vehicles that are currently on the dev server except for the naval. I don't have any interest in Navy, and I don't know anything about Navy, so we're not going to cover them. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. My voice is gone. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that thumbs up button, and of course, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Take care, guys.